Hello everyone and welcome back to Sudden Wealth. I hope you guys are doing very well. If you do enjoy the content, please consider dropping that like and subscribe. As you guys know, that greatly helps the channel. So as you can see from my background, I am back to the castle. I am back home. I have to say, one of the best ways for you to truly miss your own home is by being like a month away. Then when you come back, you really value what you have. We as human beings tend to forget and to not value what you have. Basically, it's the old principle of wrestling, even, if you will, which is, if you don't go away, how can I miss you? It's a little bit that principle here. So I'm back to work tomorrow, back to the normal schedule. I'll be trying to record once every 2 days, sometimes once every 3 days or so. Depends a little bit on my availability, and of course a little bit more often if major things happen. I actually miss work. If you guys can believe that, that's a big blessing for me, which is I actually really love what I do for a living. So in that sense, I even miss when I'm not working. I would say I'm a very fortunate person to have that, and I really hope that continues going forward. So let's look at the market. There's a lot of noise around the blood moon. Bitcoin's at 111k. Stock market is pretty much at all-time highs. Job markets came in weak. The Fed will start to cut rates. Bonds, people were stressing in the beginning of the week. They are now less stressed than they were in the beginning of said week. As I've said, look at the bond market, look at the dollar, look at the oil prices. Those are the financial conditions. If they tighten, we will have some hardship in terms of price performance. If they loosen, then we're going to have some easier times going forward. Now, people have asked me this in the past, and I should have done a better job covering it, so I'll do it today. They're saying, but Sudden Wealth, if it's so easy, if it's all about liquidity and financial conditions, I mean, wouldn't Wall Street be aware of this? Wouldn't they be positioned for this? Wouldn't all the active managers be performing very, very well? That's actually good evidence of why it's not easy. It's simple, but not easy. You all have read that passive management funds have outperformed 90+% of active managed funds. And the reason is, when you look at so much data and you make and you make really the big bucks, you get to think that things are more complex than what they really are, to basically kind of justify your existence or the existence of your job position being paid so handsomely, if actually what you're doing is fairly simple. And also, most people think that Wall Street have nerves of steel. No, they make the same mistakes as you'd make. The only difference is that if they really make a big mistake, they get bailed out and you don't. That's it. And when I say you, I say me as well, because I'm part of the retail community. That's it. Wall Street likes to buy when it's green, and they like to sell when it's red. Now we see a lot of predictions for gold price at $5,000. Why? Because gold broke new all-time highs. When gold was retracing to like 2,000, there's no predictions of 5,000. When do they start predicting Bitcoin at 200k? When it breaks new all-time highs. I can tell you, when Bitcoin breaks a new all-time high again, another 250k prediction will come out. Not now. When it goes higher. The same thing. Look at the volume in the ETFs. The volume in the Bitcoin and Ethereum ETFs goes higher when the prices are hitting new all-time highs. When did we get Ethereum at new all-time highs? When Ethereum was breaking 4,000 plus, 4,500 plus, then we're going to get inflows and inflows and inflows. Not at 1,700. At 4,500. It's the same Ethereum. It's just 3 times more expensive. But that's what the market likes. The market loves green candles. Whatever we do afterwards is we tell stories. That's it. Why does Bitcoin go up? Because there are more dollars buying it than dollars selling it. That's it. Oh, but it's because of the sovereign wealth fund doing this. Those are just stories. Those are just reasons to justify the very simple truth. More dollars buy versus more dollars sell. That's it. Or euros or yen or whatever. It's all the same thing. Makes no difference. Unfortunately, our governments and central banks seem that they want to continue increasing those quantities of euros, dollars, yens, yuans, etc. Which means if you give any enough time, asset prices will go up. Not because the asset has become wonderful or much more wonderful than what it was 2 years ago. There's just more money circulating. That's all there is. And I know this is not fancy because you see, then what are all these research analysts and all these people going to do? What are they going? They have to predict the crashes all the time. Why? Because by predicting the crash, that's how you get the clickbait. That's how you get your name noticed. And then what you do is you predict the crash non-stop until a correction eventually happens, and then you come out and say, I told you so. Also, it's important to realize, this is particular for crypto. You have to understand the audience that is in crypto, the new audience, if you will. A 30% drop is catastrophic in Wall Street. It's something that you see during the zombie virus, during the tech bubble, during the financial crisis. That's when you see 30, 40% drops. While for us in crypto, we see that all the time. We don't even care. I mean, I have coins that drop 40% like in 2 days. That's like almost a financial crisis in 2 days, but instead in the stocks it was 1.5 years, and in crypto it's 2 days. So when that audience comes here, they cannot tolerate, as well as you think, the drawdowns of crypto. So that's why they change their mind so quickly. And that's why you have billions buying when it's green, and you have billions selling when it's red. That's it. Now, I've said this before about fundamentals precede price, price precedes narrative. There's also another important thing. Financial conditions, liquidity, yields, etc., they precede predictions about cycles. So, for example, you have the 4-year cycle. Why was I more inclined to believe that the 4-year cycle was going to happen? Because, if you remember last year, 2024, nobody thought the 4-year cycle would hold. Now, everybody thinks the 4-year cycle is finishing. That's why you have so much selling. It's one of the reasons you have so much selling. You have the people obsessed not to live another round trip. So now they think the 4-year cycle is going to happen. I'm not saying it's not going to happen. That's not my point. My point is the consensus is now that the 4-year cycle will repeat, which tells me that there's a chance that it won't. You see, you have to understand something. In 2017, nobody talked about the 4-year cycle because nobody knew what it was. In 2021, people were saying, what 4-year cycle? It's not going to happen because don't you see what the government is doing? Interest rates are zero. It's infinite QE. It's not going to happen. The 4-year cycle will not happen. And guess what? It did happen. This time is, oh my God, the 4-year cycle is right now. We have to sell everything because of the 4-year cycle. You see the dynamic is completely different. 2017, nobody knew about it. 2021, the few people that knew about it quickly dismissed it because of reasons A, B, and C. And because it happened so perfectly in 13, 17, 21, now everyone is convinced that 2025 is going to happen. To me, I was also of the opinion, if you ask me 12 months ago, will the 4-year cycle happen? I would say, I would give it 80% chance. That's why when people said, hey, can you talk about exit strategies? That's why I said I will always have at least 20% in crypto for the case that the cycle goes on and I was wrong. Because if the cycle goes on and I was wrong, those 20% still run quite a bit. But in order for the cycle to be over, the conditions that precede predictions need to be in place. Is liquidity topped? As liquidity topped? Are liquidity events, positive liquidity events coming, or are all gone? What else? Did we have euphoria? Did we hit levels of extreme greed for a couple of months and a bunch of stupid crap was happening at a global scale and basically all the ecosystems was making money and everything was going wild? Did we have that? No. For the most part, we don't even have retail here. So that tells me that euphoria is not here. And in my view, you need the conditions to have toppled, you have the euphoria to happen, and then you have your top. As long as I don't see the first two, I can play the guess game of when it's going to happen. If you ask me a year ago, I would tell you, I think it's going to happen in September and October. Now that we are here, some things have not happened in line with what I expected, so I have to say, probably it will go into 2026. Now people say, oh, you were wrong. Do you think I care? If I was wrong and it doesn't finish in November and it finishes in May, do you think I care? Do you think I cannot wait 7 months or 6 months? I don't give a shit, right? It's fun to try and predict what's going to happen. It's fun and games. Sometimes you get it very well, sometimes you get it wrong. It's important to have that notion. And you play the probabilities of the time that you're in. That's the best you can do. But you have to look at certain dynamics, certain metrics that are way more important than which week of the month we are. See what I mean? Something like, is liquidity finished? Is liquidity just dropping and dropping and dropping? Have we peaked in the business cycle in the ISM? No, we are not even above 50 yet. Are the rate cut cycle over? It's not even started. So you see my point? You have to look, the time goes forward. So we think, let's say, by February 2026, I think A, B, and C is going to happen. Okay? But the reason why A, B, and C will happen is if the ENF happens in, let's say, November 2025. Obviously, if in November 2025 those things don't happen, then February 2026 loses some impact. You see the difference? Now people said, oh, but so if you get things wrong, what's your difference between you and Ren Nuna? From Crypto Banter. I'll tell you. Crypto Banter says there's no correction, it's finished. Next day, here's how you prepare for the correction we are in. Next day. No explanation to the audience, no clarification. Keep selling you stuff, which I never do, and I will never do. I will never sell anything to you. I'm just giving my opinion and the way that I think. It's up to you what you do with it, because I gain nothing. I gain nothing for you believing me or not. It's completely irrelevant to me. I don't get anything from it. Also, I don't say, oh, this crap is a terrible idea. Oh, they gave me a private allocation. Oh, I think it's a great idea. Please buy it. I don't do things like that. So that's the big difference. Now, there was a question in my previous video about pulse chain marketing, about the tablets. Do I think they're going to work? Do I think they're going to work? Look, to me, it's very simple. And this is valid for any coin out there. The best marketing of any crypto project, anywhere on the planet, in whatever chain you prefer, is called green candles. That's it. Whatever gains the attention of the audience, whatever is helpful to bring some people into the ecosystem, I'm all in favor of it. But one thing needs to be clear. If the candles are not green, people will just assume, oh, this is a joke. Or, oh my God, these scammers are beyond anything. They are going way and beyond of whatever. Because the thing that people are going to do is if they look at the tablets and they look at the price action and they see nothing but red, that's where it dies. I know maybe this is very blunt. People don't want to listen to it. It needs to be it needs to be supported by green candles. Now, if millions of people are checking out that crypto because of the tablets and they see green candles, I repeat, and they see big, fat green candles, then it can be very effective. If is the key word. Why did Dogecoin become so famous besides Elon Musk? Because it turned green. Look at Elon Musk now. From time to time he speaks about Doge, but Doge doesn't go up anymore. So nobody cares. That's it. Why did Pepe and the Pepe related coins did so well? Because it had fat green candles. That's it. No tablets, no nothing. Just big fat green candles. I'm a big fan of the tablets if they are used together with the price action pumping. And how that price action is going to pump, it's up for you to decide. First of all, if it's going to happen, and number two, how likely it is. And with that, I wish you a very good start of the week tomorrow. Unless something dramatic happens, I will be back on Tuesday. It was a pleasure to be back. I'm very happy, very excited, very energized. And don't forget, don't marry your predictions. Think about the basic conditions that move the markets you're looking at. And breathe. And be careful with certain channels like Crypto Banter, because they will tell you that they are super bullish on a Monday morning and super bearish on a Monday afternoon. And you get lost in between, because the point is you keep coming back for that juicy YouTube ad revenue. And with that, thank you very much for support, guys. Enjoy the rest of the weekend, and I'll catch you in the next one.